Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtikim. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, entitled The Advent of Lord Krishna, Introduction, Text 5 to 7. Pitamaha me samare amaram jayehi. Pitamaha me samare maranjayehi. Devavrata adhya atirataihi timingalaihi. Devaratadhyatiratais Devaratadhyatiratais Duratyayam Kaurava Sainya Sagaram. Duratyayam Kaurava Sainya Sagaram Kritva Ataran Vatsapadam Sma Yat Plavaha. Kritva Vataran Vatsapadam Sma Yat Plavaha. Drauni Astra Viplushtam Idam Mat Angam. Draunyastra Viplushtam Idam Madangam. Draunyastra Viplushtam Idam Madangam. Sanatana Bijam Kuru Pandavanam. Sanatana Bijam Guru Pandavanam. Sanatana Bijam Kuru Pandavanam. Jugopa Kukshim Gata Atachakraha. Sanatana Bijam Jugopa Kukshim Gata Atachakro. Jugopa Kukshim Gata Atachakro. Matuhu Cha Me Yaha Sharanam Gatayaha. Matuscha me sharanam gatayaha. Viryani tasya akila deha bhajam वीर्याणि तस्याखिल देहभाजाम् अन्तः बहिः पूरुष काल रूपैः अन्तर्बहिः पूरुष काल रूपैः अन्तर्बहिः पूरुष काल रूपैः प्रयच्छतः मृत्युम् उत अमृतम् च प्रयच्छतो मृत्युमुतमृतं च प्रयच्छतो मृत्युमुथामृतं च माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन् माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन् माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन् पितामहा मे समरं मरञ्जयेर् देवव्रताध्यादितिरथैस्तिमिङ्गलैः दुरत्ययं कौरवसैन्यसागरम् कृत्वावतरन् वत्सपदं स्म यत्प्लवः द्रौण्यस्त्रविप्लुष्टमिदं मदङ्गम् सनातनबीजं कुरु पाण्डवानाम् जुगोपकुक्षिं गत आतचक्रो मातुश्च मे यः शरणं गतायाः वीर्याणि तस्याखिल देहभाजाम् अन्तर्बहिः पूरुषकालरूपैः प्रयच्छतो मृत्युमुतामृतं च माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन् पितामहा मे समरे मरञ्जये देवव्रताध्यातिरथैस्तिमिङ्गलैः दुरत्ययं कौरवसैन्यसागरम् कृत्वावतरन् वत्सपदं स्म वत्प्लवाः द्रौण्यस्त्रविप्लुष्टमिदं मदङ्गम् सनातनबीजं कुरु पाण्डवानाम् जुगोपकुक्षिं गत आतचक्रो मातुश्च मे यः शरणं गतायाः वीर्याणि तस्याखिल देहभाजाम् अन्तर्बहिः पूरुषकालरूपैः प्रयच्छतो मृत्युमुतामृतं च माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन् Pitamaha, my grandfathers, the five Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, may my samare on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Amaram Jayaihi, with fighters who could gain victory over the demigods on the battlefield. Devavrata Adhya, Bhishma Deva and others. Atirataihi, great commanders in chief. Timingilaihi, resembling great Timingila fish, which can easily eat large sharks. Duratyayam, very difficult to cross. Kaurava Sainya Sagaram, the ocean of the assembled soldiers of the Kauravas. Kritva, considering such an ocean. Atharan, crossed it. Vatsapadam, exactly as one steps over a small hoof print of a calf. Sma, in the past. Yatplavaha, the shelter of the boat of Krishna's lotus feet. Drauni, of Ashwathama. Astra, by the Brahmastra. Viplushtam, being attacked and burned. Idam, this. Mat angam, my body. Sanatana bhijam, the only seed left, the last descendant of the family. Kuru Pandavanam, of the Kurus and the Pandavas, because no one but me lived after the battle of Kurukshetra. Jugopa, gave protection. Kukshim, within the womb. Gataha, being placed. Atachakra, taking in hand the disc. Matuhu, of my mother. Cha, also. May, my. Yaha, the Lord who. Sharanam, the shelter. Gatayaha, who had taken. Viryani, the glorification of the transcendental characteristics. Tasya, of him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Akila Deha Bhajam, of all the materially embodied living entities. Antabbahihi, inside and outside. Purusha, of the Supreme Person. Kala Rupaihi, in the forms of eternal time. Prayachataha, who is the giver, mrityam, of death, uta, it is so said, amritam cha, and eternal life, maya manushasya, of the Lord, who appeared as an ordinary human being by his own potency. Vadasva, kindly describe, Vidvan, O learned speaker, Shukadev Goswami. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhishmadeva resemble great fish that could very easily have swallowed them. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed this ocean, which was very difficult to cross, as easily as one steps over the hoof print of a calf. Because my mother surrendered into Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord, Sudarshana Chakra in hand, entered her womb and saved my body, the body of the last remaining descendant of the Kurus and the Pandavas, which was almost destroyed by the fiery weapon of Ashwatthama. Lord Shri Krishna, appearing within and outside of all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the forms of eternal time, that is, as Paramatma and as Virat Rupa, gave liberation to everyone, either as cruel death or as life. Kindly enlighten me by describing his transcendental characteristics. Translation with repetition. Taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhishmadeva resembled great fish that could very easily have swallowed them. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed this ocean, which was very difficult to cross, as easily one steps over the hoof print of a calf. Because my mother surrendered unto Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord, Sudarshana Chakra in hand, entered her womb and saved my body, the body of the last remaining descendant of the Kurus and the Pandavas, which was almost destroyed by the fiery weapon of Ashwatthama. Lord Shri Krishna, appearing within and outside of all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the form of eternal time, that is, as Paramatma and as Virat Rupa, gave liberation to everyone, either as cruel death or as life. Kindly enlighten me by describing his transcendental pastimes. Purport. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.58, Samashrita ye padapallava plabam mahatpadam punya yasho murare bhavambudir vatsa padam param padam 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 yat vipadam na tesham. For one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, or the enemy of the Mura demon, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. His goal is Param Padam, or Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. One who seeks shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is immediately protected by the Lord, as the Lord promises in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma shuchaha. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. By taking shelter of Lord Krishna, one comes under the safest protection. Thus, when the Pandavas took shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, all of them were on the safe side of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Parikshit Maharaj therefore felt obliged to think of Krishna in the last days of his life. This is the ideal result of Krishna consciousness. Ante Narayana Smritihi. If at the time of death one can remember Krishna, one's life is successful. Parikshit Maharaj, therefore, because of his many obligations to Krishna, intelligently decided to think of Krishna constantly during the last days of his life. Krishna had saved the Pandavas, Maharaj Parikshit's grandfathers, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Krishna had saved Maharaj Parikshit himself when he was attacked by the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. Krishna acted as the friend and worshipable deity of the Pandava family. Moreover, apart from Lord Krishna's personal contact with the Pandavas, Krishna is the supersoul of all living entities and he gives everyone liberation even if one is not a pure devotee. Kamsa, for example, was not at all a devotee, yet Krishna, after killing him, gave him salvation. Krishna consciousness is beneficial to everyone, whether one is a pure devotee or a non-devotee. This is the glory of Krishna consciousness. Considering this, who will not take shelter at lotus feet of Krishna? Krishna is described in this verse as Maya Manushya because he descends exactly like a human being. He is not obliged to come here like karmis or ordinary living beings. Rather, he appears by his own internal energy, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, just to show favor to the fallen conditioned souls. Krishna is always situated in his original position as Satchidananda Vigraha, and anyone who renders service to him is also situated in his original spiritual identity, Sarupena Vyavastitihi. This is the highest perfection of human life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Here in this verse, Parikshit Maharaj is describing how his grandfathers, it was the Pandavas, how they were put into difficulty and how they were saved from these difficulties by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Even Parikshit Maharaj was saved by the Supreme Lord when Ashwatthama had released Brahmastra, which entered into the womb of Parikshit Maharaj's mother, Uttara. The Supreme Lord entered the womb of Mother Uttara and saved Parikshit Maharaj. So here in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning one verse, Samashitaye Padapallavaplavam Mahatpadam Punya Yasho Murare Bhavambudir Vatsapadam Parampadam Padam Padam Yad Vipadam Na Tesham. By taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, we can very easily cross over this material existence. This material existence is filled with miseries. Samsara Sagara. And the miseries are, Krishna describes the miseries in the Bhagavad Gita: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Birth, death, old age, disease, Adhyatmika Klesha, Adhibhautika Klesha, and Adidhaivika Klesha. So it is filled with miseries. Krishna has defined this world as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. It is filled with dukkha and it is a temporary world. So all of us are undergoing the miseries in this world. We don't want miseries and we don't want to suffer. Correct? Do we agree? We don't want miseries and we don't want to suffer. Very true. But we see how devotees take up this means what is the understanding or what is the perception of devotees about miseries in this world. Like if you see in Bhagavatam, in Kunti Stuti, the prayers offered by Kunti Maharani, she is saying, Vipadas ta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhavat darshanam. The Pandavas were put into difficulties repeatedly. And Mother Kunti is saying, let all these difficulties come back again. Let all these calamities come back again. Can we pray like that? Who wants to pray like that? Let me be put into sufferings again and again. Yeah. So Kunti Maharani is saying, Vipadas ta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru. Let all these difficulties come back, because when there is difficulty, Sankata Bantaga Venkatramana. If you are put into difficulties, only then you will remember Krishna. So when you remember Krishna, when you have darshan of Krishna, because they were actually having darshan of Krishna, Bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. So when you remember Krishna, you become freed from the cycle of birth and death. Vipadas santu. Let all these calamities. And what was those calamities? That also is described in the previous verse. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabaya Vanavasa Krichrata Mride Mride Neka Maharatastrato Draunyastrataschasma Harebi Rakshita. The Bhima was poisoned. Vishat Mahagne. And the Pandavas were put in a palace which is made of shalak, so that they can be burnt alive. Vishan, Mahagne, Purushada. Bhima had to encounter a man-eater, Idimba, in the forest. Darshanat, Asat Sabhaya. Draupadi was tried by the Kauravas to be stripped naked. Asat Sabha, not a cultured assembly. Vanavasa, they had to go to forest, undergo a lot of tribulations. And again, after all that, they had to participate in this battle of Kurukshetra, where they had to face, that's what is mentioned here, big Timingalas, which can swallow big sharks. And these Timingalas were Bhishma Dev, Drauna. And Kunti Maharani is praying, let all these difficulties come back, so that we can have your darshan and we can remember you. So by remembering you and having your darshan, we can be freed from the cycle of birth and death. So this is how devotees perceive at suffering or calamities. Even the greatest of calamities, they are not disturbed. One more example in Bhagavatam, where the devotee was put into great suffering. But he was not disturbed. Which is that? Who is that? Prahalad Maharaj. What sufferings did Prahalad Maharaj undergo? Prahalad Maharaj was pierced by sharp weapons. He was pierced by sharp weapons. He was thrown under the feet of huge elephants. He was starved. He was poisoned. He was hurled from a cliff. He was put into boiling oil. But despite all these calamities and suffering, Prahlad Maharaj remained undisturbed, and he was always meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about this, Yam labdva chaparam labam manyate na adhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi na vichalete. If you are situated in Krishna consciousness, if you are absorbed in Krishna consciousness, even greatest of calamity in this material world cannot affect you, cannot disturb you. Prabhupada explains in the purport, he says, a Krishna conscious person, he is callous toward incidental occurrence such as accidents, disease, scarcity, and even the death of a most dear relative, but he is always alert to execute his duties in Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. Accidents never deviate him from his duty. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Agama Paino Nityas Tam Titikshasva Bharata. He endures all such incidental occurrences because he knows that they come and go and do not affect his duties. So here Prabhupada is saying, a Krishna conscious person is callous toward incidental occurrences such as accidents, disease, scarcity, and even the death of a most dear relative. Even if a death happens of a most dear relative, he remains unaffected and he continues his Krishna consciousness. There is a wonderful example in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We chant this mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Shri Vasa was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of you had been to Mayapur? Not many. So there is a place called Srivas Hangan in Mayapur. And all these devotees, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhara, Shivas and all his associates, they used to gather there and they used to perform Sankirtana in this place, Shivas Hangan. And actually, scriptures say this place is compared to Rasasthali in Vrindavan. So when they perform Sankirtan, they used to be always full of bliss and in transcendental ecstasy. They used to enjoy Sankirtan. And the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always happy. And whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was happy, they also used to be happy. And whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be sad, nothing could pacify the hearts of devotees. So while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Sankirtana in this place, Shiva Sangan, suddenly Srivasa could hear somebody crying from the inner chambers of the house. So this devotee Srivasa was called into the room, and to his surprise, Srivasa's son had passed away. And his wife, the mother of the child, was crying. And Srivasa told, my son is so fortunate that he passed away when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing Sankirtana in my house. And he is sure to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Then further he instructed his family members, you should stop crying. Because if you cry, that will disturb Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan. So I don't want Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan to be disturbed. So he told them and he came out. And Chaitanya and his associates, everyone were performing Sankirtana whole night. And after the night was past, morning, suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started speaking. He became silent. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, I'm feeling some heaviness in my heart. I feel that there is something wrong in this house. Some sadness is there. Then one of the devotees, one of the associates told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the passing away of this son. So immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started crying. How can I give away the association of such a great devotee, Srivasa, who is not disturbed by such a great calamity? His dear son has passed away and he is not disturbed. He don't want to disturb me. He don't want to make me unhappy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started crying and devotees couldn't understand why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying. It was a big mystery for them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then immediately went into that room and he spoke to the boy who had passed away. Oh, my dear son, please get up. What happened? Then immediately the son, he got up. And he told, the son of Srivasa started speaking. My dear Lord, by your mercy and by the will of the providence, I took birth in this house. I was very fortunate to take birth in this house of this devotee. And again, by your blessings and by the will of the providence, I have to leave this place and I have to go wherever you want me to be. So soul has to leave this body. He cannot permanently be situated in one place. Then who is my parent? Who is my relative? Because today we have some parents, tomorrow next life we get somebody else. So the soul is eternally related to Krishna. So then this child started speaking philosophy then, and finally he begs forgiveness from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he prays to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requests him that wherever he goes, please bless me with the association of devotees. And then the child again lies back. So then Srivasa and his wife could see that how the soul was blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they offered obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srivasa, please don't worry. You lost your son. But me and Nityananda will remain your sons eternally. So, the devotees, like you see, Srivas Thakura was not affected even of this greatest calamity. What is the greatest? He lost his own dear son, but he was not affected. He wanted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be happy. And this is how devotees overcome suffering in this world. They are not affected by the sufferings. Why? There is one more place in the Bhagavatam. It says, Samsara sindhum ati dusthara utthitirshо nanya plava bhagavata purushotamasya leela kata rasa nishevana antharena. So devotees, they get absorbed in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, pastimes of Krishna, and they relish these pastimes. And because of their constant hearing and relishing of their pastimes, they don't get affected. They don't feel the pangs of material suffering. Because this Krishna Katha acts like a medicine. Nivratta tarsher upagiya manat bhavaushadhat shrotra manobirama. If you want to cross over this ocean of material suffering, then we have to take this medicine of Krishna Katha. And this medicine of Krishna Katha is taken through your ears. So this Krishna Katha acts like a medicine. It's like when you undergo a surgery, the doctors give you anesthesia. So this anesthesia, what does it do? the portion of the body where anesthesia is given, it becomes numb and you don't feel the pain. Similarly, this Krishna Katha acts as anesthesia. You constantly hear Krishna Katha, you be absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna, then you don't feel the miseries or you don't get affected by the greatest calamities in this world. Devotees, they can suffer any kind of suffering in this world, but they cannot suffer one suffering. What is the greatest suffering for a devotee? Forgetfulness of Krishna. They don't want to forget Krishna. Devotee's prayer is always, let me not forget you, Krishna. Let me not forget you. Let me be always remembering you. You would have seen this quote, always remember Krishna. Please don't forget Krishna. All our suffering in this world is because of forgetfulness of Krishna. So devotees are not interested in wealth, name, fame, position, nothing. All these material things, they are not at all interested. But on the other hand, they are ready to undergo any amount of suffering. There was one great devotee of Krishna by name Kumban Das. Krishna used to play on his lap. This is in the 18th century. It happened, 17 and a half, 18th century. Krishna used to play on his lap. This devotee used to perform bhajans, sankirtan for the pleasure of Nathji, Srinathji. Srinathji was in Vrindavan in Govardhan. So he used to always perform sankirtan for the pleasure of Srinathji. And Krishna used to have a friendly relationship with this devotee, Kumban Das. I'll narrate one pastime of this Kumban Das and then I'll narrate why am I narrating this pastime? Why am I mentioning Kumban Das? So, in this temple of Srinathji in Govardhan, one lady who was staying nearby the temple, she used to always visit this temple with a pot of curds, and she used to take this pot of curds and place in front of Srinathji, and she used to speak to Srinathji. What was she speaking? So this lady had heard the pastime of Krishna stealing butter and yogurt. So she went and expressed to Srinathji, I have heard you stealing butter and yogurt from many gopis' house. You please come and steal butter from my house also. See, this is such a nice curd I have brought. I prepared nice butter, which is very tasty. So please come and steal butter and yogurt from my house. So every day, this lady, Gopi, used to go and pray, Krishna, please come and steal, please come and steal, please come and steal. So Krishna used to hear these prayers. One day, these prayers actually touched the heart of Krishna. So now Krishna decided, yes, I should go and steal butter or yogurt from this Gopi's house. So Krishna called Kumban Das. Kumban Das, please come. I want to speak to you. So he told Kumban Das, see, every day the Pujari was Vittal Das Goswami. So every day Vittal Das Goswami is offering me bhoga, he is offering some butter, yogurt, everything. But somehow I am not enjoying this. I want to do something different. Kumban Das, what different? I want to steal butter. I want to steal yogurt and taste. That will be more tasty. Okay, you do. Kumban Das told. Kumban Das was an old man. He told, okay, you can do whatever you want. You are a transcendental autocrat. You want to steal, you steal. Then Krishna told, yeah, I will do that, but I want your help. Kumban Das told, my help? I am a simple, ordinary person offering some good bhajans to you. I don't know how to steal. I don't know. I am not a thief or I don't know how to steal. Then Krishna told, whom are you speaking to? Praje prasiddham navanita chauram gopangananam cha dhukula chauram aneka janmarchita papa chauram chauragraganyam purusham. You know whom you are speaking to? Chauragraganya. I am the best of all the thieves. I will teach you how to steal. You come with me. You just help me, support me. Then this person, what he should do? He is a devotee and he is a friend of Krishna. He has to agree. So Krishna is asking him. So this person, Kumandas, he asked Krishna, so what should I do? So Krishna, Nathji told him, okay, today after Shayana Puja, means Shayana Arti, after the rest is given to me by the Pujari, you come and stand next to this window. There was a window in the altar. So come and stand next to the window. I'll get out through this window and I'll come with you. So that day, Shayana Arti over, Shayana is done, Shayana Seva is done, everything is done. The Pujari has closed the altar. Now, Krishna was waiting for Kumandas. He's peeping through the window. Where is Kumandas? Is not coming. So he waited for a long time. Then Kumandas came. The old person came. And he came and stood below the window. So Krishna got out through the window. And he was sitting on the shoulders of Kumandas. Now Kumandas, he directed Kumandas to that lady's house, the Kumbhak, the Gopi's house. So you take me to this house. So Kumandas and Krishna went to that house and somehow they managed to climb the wall and they got into the house and they were searching, where is the pot? Krishna is searching, where is the pot? And he found the pot. Krishna found the pot. And that pot was still high. Krishna couldn't reach that pot. So Krishna told Kumandas, now I have to climb on your shoulder to reach. In order to reach that pot, I have to climb on the shoulder. So please bear with me. So Kumandas, whatever you want, as you wish, you do. So then Krishna climbed on the shoulder of Kumandas and he told Kumandas, I will eat the butter first and then I will feed you also, don't worry. So Krishna climbed on the shoulders and he caught hold of that rope on which the pot was hanging. He opened the lid and Krishna took the butter from inside the pot and Krishna ate that butter. And after he ate, Krishna bent down and he fed Kumandas also. So Kumandas was eating the Adharamrita, the remnants of Krishna's prasada. And Kumandas went into bliss and there was tears in his eyes and he was not able to withstand that ecstasy, what he was going through. So this continued. Krishna was taking butter, he ate and he bent down and he fed Kumandas. And Kumandas was in full ecstasy. So this was going on and suddenly what happened? While it was this whole process of the devotee and Krishna's Leela was going on, they were absorbed in ecstasy, both the devotee and Krishna is enjoying. Suddenly that lid fell down and there was a sound. And the lady got up, the gopi got up and she came out with a stick. Who is the thief? Some thief has come in. So what did Krishna do? He immediately got down and ran away. Now Kumandas is stuck here. So this lady saw this Kumandas. Oh Baba, you are here stealing butter. You are always singing bhajans and I have seen you singing bhajans in Nathji temple. Why did you come and stealing butter here? If you wanted butter, I would have personally brought that butter to you. Then the Baba told, I was not alone. He had come along with me to fulfill your desire. So Krishna used to have such wonderful pastimes with this devotee Kumandas. So Krishna ran away and Kumandas was stuck. But Kumandas told the lady, Krishna, just to fulfill the desire of that lady, that she steal butter in my house, Krishna had come with this. So Krishna used to have wonderful pastime and this Kumandas, he was very, very poor. Very poor. His hut, the hut in which he was staying used to leak when it used to rain and his clothes were torn. But Krishna used to play on this lap. So one day, this Kumandas was in his hut and Srinathji was playing on his lap and he was completely nicely absorbed. Both again the devotee and the Lord was completely absorbed in this Leela. Suddenly, one king from Jaipur, he came to Govardhan. He came to Vrindavan. So there, this king of Jaipur wanted to give in charity half of his kingdom. So he was looking for a qualified person to give his charity. He is inquiring. So one of the devotees in Govardhan, same this Vittal Das Goswami, he told this king that Kumban Das is the right person for you to give charity because he's a great devotee and he's also very poor. So then king got to know the whereabouts, means the address of Kumban Das, and he went searching for Kumban Das. Kumban Das was in his hut and he was happily, transcendently situated, playing with Krishna. Krishna was playing on his lap and he was fully, completely absorbed and he had forgotten everything. The moment this king of Jaipur entered this hut, Krishna disappeared. The moment Krishna disappeared, this Kumban Das started feeling separation and he started crying, "Krishna, where are you?" Tears started flowing from his house. "Krishna, Krishna, my Lala, my Khana, where are you? Started crying. Then this king of Jaipur, somehow he started speaking. "I heard that you are Kumban Das. I have come here to give charity and I want to give half of my kingdom. Please take." Kumban Das became angry. So, "Shut up and get lost. I don't want your kingdom. I don't want anything. Because of you, I have lost my Kana. I have lost my Krishna. Please get out." So this king was shocked. He wanted to give half of this kingdom, and this person is saying, "I'm not interested." How many of us would have done that? So then, after the king left the place, Krishna appeared. Krishna appeared on his lap. And Krishna asked Kumban Das, "Why didn't you accept the charity what the king wanted to give you?" For that, Kumban Das replied, he told Krishna, "If I would have accepted the charity, then you wouldn't have come to me and asked this question." He would have lost Krishna. Krishna wouldn't have come. So Krishna is akinchana vittha. Krishna is the property of a person who is materially impoverished. So Kumban Das he was not interested in anything. He is not interested in wealth. He is not interested in name. He was not interested in position. Nothing which all of us are interested in this world. We want money, we want position, we want name, we want prestige, we want everything. But we don't want Krishna. But a devotee of Krishna doesn't want anything, he wants only Krishna. So that is why they don't get affected by the material miseries in this world. And Krishna is so merciful, he takes off the karma of the devotees. If the devotee has to suffer, he takes off his karma. That's what Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami Mashucha. He makes your karma zero. There is one pastime, I will narrate this and I will stop. How Krishna takes off the karma of his devotee. There was one devotee by name Madhav Das. He was a great devotee of Lord Jagannatha. He got married at a very young age, when he was 20 years old. And his wife was, I think, just 16 or 17 years old. And he got married, and his wife passed away when she was about to give birth to the baby. So a baby was born, but the wife passed away. Now, his parents, Madhav Das' father and mother, now baby is there, somebody has to take care of the baby. Mother is not there. So Madhav Das' parents, father and mother, told him, you should get married. You should get married so that the baby gets a mother. Madhav Das was not interested. They were pressurizing, they were forcing, you should get married. Then Madhav Das told them, okay, I will get married, but give me in writing that after I get married, this girl whom I'm going to get married will not die. Give me in writing. Or I will not die, give me in writing. Or this baby will not die, give me in writing. Then I will get married. So these people thought he has gone mad. How is it possible? One day or other, everybody should die. So then they kept quiet. They didn't force him to get married. But this Madhav Das' mind was always on Lord Jagannath. He somehow wanted to give up this family, samsara, and go to Jagannath Puri and serve the Lord Jagannath. So, but now he is stuck. Why is he stuck? Because there is a baby. Now, who will take care of the baby? So he was meditating and contemplating on this, sitting on the veranda of his house. He was just, what will happen? I want to go from here. What will happen to my baby? What will happen to my baby? Who will take care? So suddenly he saw a small egg of a bird fell from the top in his garden. It fell from the top and the egg broke. It fell on a grass and the egg broke and a small birdling came out of it. The small birdling had not opened its eyes and it starts opening its beak. The moment the birdling comes out, it wants to eat something. So it was still in the shell of that egg and it was opening its beak because it was hungry, it wanted to have something. So a small insect was flying around. It came and got stuck to the wet portion of that egg. So immediately this birdling moved towards that insect. Naturally it happened and it ate that insect. So he observed this. Madhav Das observed this and he got a realization. For that bird, a small bird, a newborn bird, Krishna is supplying food. Will he not supply, will he not take care of my baby? And immediately left the baby and he went to Jagannath Puri. And there in Jagannath Puri, he went to the Mahodadi, the ocean, and he started doing bhajan for Jagannath. And he absorbed in deep bhajan and meditation of the Lord. The Lord Jagannatha used to personally send him. He used to come in the form of a panda. He used to bring his bhoga, prasada, and used to offer Madhav Das prasada. So after a few days, once what happened, the plates, the golden plates or silver plates of the Lord was missing. And the pandas were searching where it is gone, where it is gone. They were searching and they got to know. No, actually the Lord Jagannath tells the king that my devotee has come and is staying in the shores of the ocean, so I have sent my prasadam personally. So the plates are there, you can go and bring. So they went and brought the plates. So after a few days, this Madhav Das fell sick. He was not able to perform bhajan and he was not able to do anything. He was not able to eat properly. And he used to lie on one place and he used to just pass stool and urine there itself because he was seriously sick. Then Lord Jagannatha, because he couldn't see his devotees suffering, he went personally to that place and he was taking care of this devotee, Madhav Das. And Lord personally was washing this dhoti which was smeared with stool and urine of this devotee. And this devotee was not able to tolerate this service from the Lord. And he started criticizing, chastising the Lord. Why are you doing this? Instead of doing this, you could have cured me of my illness. Then the Lord said, your illness is for next 15 days. You have to suffer for 15 days. No, you cure me from this illness so that I don't see you serving me like this. Then what did the Lord do? Okay, next 15 days, you have to, as per your karma, you have to suffer for next 15 days. Okay, I will take this illness for me. So that is what the Anavasara period in Jagannath. You see, after Snan Yatra, 15 days, he falls sick. So actually, Jagannatha takes the sickness or illness of Madhav Das for 15 days and he falls sick. So in this way, Lord frees the devotee from his karma. So by all this we can understand, just by surrendering to Krishna and dedicating ourselves to Krishna, always holding on to Krishna's lotus feet, we will remain unaffected by the material miseries. Material miseries will never affect us. Not that we'll not suffer, we'll suffer, but we'll not feel the pain. Just like when anesthesia is given, we don't feel the pain. Similarly, when you are in Krishna conscious, absorbed in Krishna, hearing the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, you will not be affected by the material miseries in this world. With this, I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.